Alabama and Mississippi personal injury lawyer Scott Soutullo here to talk about a phenomena on the roadway, traffic danger, that I have been in a special position to notice in over 25 years of practicing law, handled thousands of traffic accident cases. Situations that are really dangerous that most drivers wouldn't think about. And the number one situation is actually one where you think you're being courteous and nice, and the driver who you're being nice to loves you. So it's a situation we're all familiar with, and yet it has the potential to be very dangerous, if not deadly. And it's one I call the guillotine. We're all familiar with this. You're driving along, you're in the right-hand lane. There are two lanes going in your direction, two lanes going in the opposite direction. There's a turn lane. So you're in the right-hand lane, you're approaching a red light. There are 4 or 5 cars already stopped in your lane, so you're slowing down to stop. But what do you know? Over to your right, there's another driver wanting to pull out of a gas station, grocery store, what have you, and they want to turn left out in front of you, and they want to go left. What are we all inclined to do? You're in a position to help that person. You can leave that gap. So instead of stopping all the way, you leave the gap and you do the old, come on through, you got it. Being a good neighbor, right? They love it. Well, don't do this, because when they pull out, the driver door of their vehicle is exposed to what? Over here in the next lane, that is the same lane of travel as you, in your left-hand lane, there's another car. You may not see them. Car, truck, transfer truck, motorcycle. They're coming along. And when you wave the person through coming out of the grocery store and they come through, they're exposing their driver door to the front bumper of this vehicle here. And this is what we call a T-bone. Ever heard of a T-bone impact? There's the T. And so again, this is why I call this the guillotine, because it can be very deadly, or has the potential. We have airbags, and modern vehicles are a lot more impervious to wrecks and bad accidents than in times past, but they are still, they can be very dangerous. So you wave this person through, and then the crash occurs. What if that person says, well, gee, Scott waved me through. He was being a nice guy. He waved me through. I thought I had it. I thought I was clear to go. And then you or whomever, they blame me. They say Scott was to blame. He's the cause of the accident. Now, in reality, maybe I was. Maybe you wouldn't have gone if I hadn't have waved you through. But guess what? The Alabama courts and other courts have determined that no. You driver wanting to pull out of the gas station or the grocery store, you cannot assign your duty to be careful to another driver. You cannot delegate that duty. And so you have to have your own independent judgment about what's going on around the corner. Well, how can you do that? You can't see around the corner. And so that's a dangerous move. It's dangerous to wave someone through. Now, you may feel a little bit rude when you pull up, and you could leave the gap, but you close the gap on up. You don't want to look at that person because you feel rude. Better to feel rude than put that person's life in danger by opening up the gap, making them feel comfortable to pull right out into the guillotine, which, as we all know, can be a deadly thing.